Welcome back to my questions and answers. We're going to be talking to a male doula. And I'm so excited because it is Valentine's Day and I have a special guest that is a male, and I'm so happy for this one. Peace and love to you all. I started this question and answer because there are so many people out there that are unaware or just misinformed and miseducated about, their birth rights, and everything in that aspect. So I created this platform for people and their families could know about their rights and just birth education in general. There are 2 other videos that I have up about birth education, so you can definitely take a look on my page and on my YouTube page. I am a birth worker. I am a postpartum care worker. I am an advocate. I am a holistic living lifestyle. I create nutrition meal plan and so much more. Today, we're going to be talking to someone all the way out from Houston, Texas, and his name is Teddy the doula. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, and you? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
That's good. That's good. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, for sure. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. Can you tell us all where you're from and what you do and everything in that
Oh
aspect?
yeah, for sure. Uh, my name is Tim Gant, but I go by Teddy. I am Teddy the doula on Instagram. My business name is Tender Starts with Teddy. I've been a doula for a good, I would say, 8 months now.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so I'm fairly new to birth work, but I've had an interest and a passion for it since I was a kid. So I'm glad that I'm finally able to, start my path and my journey in birth work.
Amazing. So, we've been talking for a while, and I'm so happy you decided to do this with me because this means a lot. Because a lot of people are just informed and unaware of doula work and everything in that aspect. So, for you to even be a doula, you're a male. It just means so much, and we really thank you for being one.
Oh yeah, no, the pleasure is mine. Like I said, I had a passion from the start, growing up with this, and I have a special place in my heart for birthing people.
Nice. I love it. All right, guys. So we're going to get into some questions and answers. And you all can feel free to comment below if you guys have a question or comment. And yes, let's get started.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Before we get started, I do like to read a quote or passage from one of my books that I'm always reading. If that's okay with you all.
Oh yes, man, go for it.
All right. So I have a poem book, and it's for me, if you are interested in that. We're going to start off with, it's called Look at Love. Look at love, how it tangles with the one fallen in love. Look at spirit, how it fuses with earth, giving it new life. Why are you so busy with this or that, or good or bad? Pay attention to how things blend. Why talk about all the known and the unknown? See how unknown merges into the known. Why think separately of this life and the next when one is born from the last? Look at your heart and tongue. One feels but deaf and dumb. The, the other speaks in words and signs. Look at water and fire, earth and wind, enemies and friends all at once. The wolf and the lamb, the lion and the deer, far away yet together. Look at the unity of this spring and winter manifested in the eclipse. You two must mingle, my friends, since the earth and the sky are mingled just for you and me. Be like the surrogate, sweet yet silent. Don't get mixed up with bitter words. My beloved rose right out of my own heart. How much more union can there be? Okay. Okay, that's nice. Feeling it. I'm feeling
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh
It's like
yeah. And what was the book? What was the name of that book again?
okay, so it's just like a lot of poems in here that I like to read, and it actually says on the side, "Every Man's Liberty Pocket Poems."
Mm. Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's good.
All right, everyone. We're gonna start off with our first question. All right, hello, people tuning in. People tuning in. What's up, everyone? What's up, everyone? All right. The rim of childbirth was uniquely female. Male doctors only came into the birth space after like medical technology, and then
Hmm.
only because women weren't allowed in medical colleges, dads were not even permitted to stay with their laboring partner until about 50 years ago. How do you feel
Hmm.
about this? And talking about this, it's like life repeats itself because we're going through the same time today, like with COVID and everything. You can't even
Hmm.
have your partner in the room. So like,
Right.
right. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, and that's one reason why I kind of didn't want to go toward the medical field, because I knew I had a passion since I was 11 or 12, to help birthing people, and that was my passion. I felt like I was put here to do that, and once when I started learning more and more about the medical system and the history behind it, it kind of deterred me from going that route, and that's
Mm-hmm.
when I discovered midwifery and everything. But yeah, it used to take place in the home. Big Mama used to be there. The family was there and everything. It was a sacred event. It was a special time,
Mm-hmm.
in your life. And only, a while back, you had to start going to the hospital for that. And I guess they realized they could start making a capital gain from it.
Exactly.
And, it became more of a business than like, a sacred event.
Exactly. That's deep. That's exactly what they're doing. In the times that we live in right now, is more of a business than
Yeah,
a sacred event. Yeah, it
for
was.
sure.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then about the dads as well, like they're not able to be in there with their partner.
But
Back
they the
then I
one
was
who
like,
said,
what? Like they had to stay in the waiting room and and everything. You had to wait. Oh, are they okay? And checking on them and this and that, but they can't be in there. And then yeah,
mm-hmm.
it's crazy now. It's like repeating itself because
Yeah,
with COVID restrictions in some states and some hospital policies, they're not allowing the partner to be in there with the birther, and
exactly.
that's horrible. I feel bad for those people.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Sad. All right, we're gonna move on to our next question. Do you have children? And if so, being a doula, if you don't have children, being a doula without children, like, does that affect your work in any way?
Um, I currently don't have children yet, and
Okay.
that's one reason why I'm glad I actually started my path in birth work, because I'm able to gain a lot of knowledge, get
Mm-hmm.
information and resources. So when I do decide to start having a family and start building my family, I'll be able to have the tools and resources necessary to do so.
Exactly.
But yeah, I feel like not having children now, being around like newborns and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to get a lot of more postpartum training,
Mm-hmm.
but which I'm looking forward to do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's probably just one thing that would probably be a little obstacle for me to overcome. But I'm looking forward to it though.
I mean, hey, my girl Justine said you will be ready when it's time. Yeah, most
Yeah,
definitely.
thank
And
you.
you
Yes,
will
I will.
you will be prepared for it. So
Right.
it's like you will already be prepared. You'll have the tools, you'll have the knowledge, you'll
And
have the
I'm glad
backup.
about that because a lot of partners, the non-gestational partners, they have no clue what's going on.
Exactly.
They don't know, and
Exactly.
I'm glad I'll be able to, you
To
know,
know.
learn, and yeah, I'll be able to know, and I'll have everything I need and be able to help
Hmm.
my wife and everything. She was
Yeah.
like, "You gonna be my doula?" Like I was like, "I
Exactly.
guess."
You already be prepared. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I'm just glad I was put into a position to where I can be, and I'll be able to have that knowledge.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
share. All right, moving on to our next question. What inspired you to become a birth worker? I know a lot of people out here is like, all right, We would love to know. Would love to know.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. That's like the most frequently asked question. So my wife, she convinced me to do a live on it. That was my first ever live on my page. And feel free to check that out if y'all want
Yes.
to. But yeah, it started with my mom. I was like 11 or 12, and I was just sitting down one day and I was curious and I asked her, I was like, so how was your birth story when with you were having me? And I'm the only child, so yeah, I'm the only child, so it was her only pregnancy and birth experience. So I was curious about it. So I was like, how did it go? And then she told me she had to have an emergency C-section
Mm.
because every time she had a contraction, my heart rate would drop. And, it got so low, if she had a few more contractions, it would have, it would have just leveled out and flatlined basically. So, and I was curious about that because I knew the aspect of birth, like how we get here. I knew
Mhm.
that we grew inside of a uterus and we came out through the vaginal canal, this and that. So I was like, what is a C-section? Then I looked at that up and learned it's a cesarean section, and they make an incision in your lower abdominal. And I started learning more about that, and it just sparked my interest in it. Just I'm trying to figure out why did this have to happen, and like what would have happened if we didn't have the resources and like knowledge now to know how to do a cesarean. What would have happened if it wasn't no option for that, or would I be here? And at that time in life, I was a kid and I loved life. I just loved living. So it just made me curious to like, man, I couldn't, like, if something would have went wrong, I wouldn't have been here and been able to experience this. And I just felt like I just had to be able to help, do something to see, why did this have to resort to this, just to learn more about that. And I realized the complexity, but yet the beautiful nature of birth. And it just sparked my interest. And, that's where my passion, for helping birthing people came from.
That's amazing. Wow. I don't even know a lot of people that would like really sit down and ask their parents like, how was your birth?
Hmm.
So I just had that talk with my mom and I asked her, I said,
Hmm. Right.
mentions had to take place and I really wanna be the one to change that, with generation to come. Like my daughter would be, she'll have her own natural birth. You know,
Hmm.
my son would, they would have a natural birth. So that's what
Hmm.
me trying to, change the cycle and get that done now. That's powerful. That's powerful. Um, okay, what sets your services aside from other doulas? Like meaning, man, like because you're a male doula, I know it's totally different from a women, like the feminine energy. You have a masculine energy, right? So do you
Hmm.
tap into a feminine? How do you go about your work when it comes to your doula work?
Um, yeah, like it's crazy because like I really thought that like coming into this that I wouldn't be received.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I was real hesitant to, start my path in birth work, especially being a doula, because you don't really see like people that look like me doing it. And I just I don't know. That's what made me real hesitant to start. But once when I did, and I realized that I was being received and welcomed, and I just had a lot of good energy around me, and I'm so thankful for my wife that she
Aw.
encouraged me to step out for that. She told me to go for it because I was one foot in, one foot out, like because I knew this was my passion. I knew this is what I was put here to do, but I just didn't know if I would be able to.
Right.
And but for my services, I mean the clients that I came across so far, they've welcomed me, they've appreciated me, and like I had something, I guess, like you say, the masculine energy could come into play. Um, yeah, that's just the thing that I guess would separate my services per se. It'll
Okay.
just be a different experience, different vibe, but yeah, I don't know, but yeah,
I mean, yeah, because
yeah,
having a female doula,
yeah,
it's like that is also beneficial because we could bring that energy, that feminine touch. But you guys can do the same. Like I told you, my hubby, he caught the baby. You know, he
Hmm.
brought his masculine touch, and you also would be bringing your strength as well.
And also, I feel like I could be able to connect with the partners,
Yeah,
just
male and
because,
female.
especially the male partners, because like I'll just have that masculine energy and we can feed off each
Mhm,
other. They'll be able to be more receptive of knowledge and information that's coming from me,
mhm.
and not really feeling like it's just so much estrogen going on that they can't breathe.
Right,
They feel
right.
like they won't have an input. So yeah, for the clients I came across so far, the partners they've really appreciated like the masculine energy I got, like per se.
I
Like
love
they could connect with me. They could talk to me and just be themselves. It's just it's just that, I guess, that connection that we could have.
it.
So
Mm-hmm.
because that's important, because partners definitely need to be a part of the whole birth process and the pregnancy process and know everything there is to know about their partner. You know,
Exactly.
yeah, for
So to
sure.
elaborate on that, I have a question. Do you feel like the male is always left out when it comes to pregnancy and childbirth?
Yeah, I would say so. Especially like what we touched on earlier, how back then they weren't even allowed in, the
Exactly.
labor and delivery room,
Right, right.
and which is crazy because it's their child too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's their
Yeah.
child, and they feel like they don't have a place in there. Um, and I mean that's one reason why I'm glad that I took the doula training service that I did,
Mm-hmm.
because they touched on caring for partners,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one thing that resonated with me because I don't have children yet, but I'm glad that I could have this knowledge so I don't feel like the same that most partners do, especially the non-gestational partners that can't birth children. They don't understand what's going on, and they feel like they don't have a place to ask, and
Mm-hmm.
because it's just, I mean, it's just not the taboo around it, but it's just like, oh well, that's not my place, and they feel like they don't have like a voice in the say, so they feel inadequate. And I'm glad that that's one thing I could help with them, and we could relate more to that. So it's definitely important that we get partners involved, because that's their child too, and they need to know how to take care of the child when it gets here, and also take care of their partner and help them throughout their pregnancy and throughout their labor.
To elaborate on that, that's really deep because back in the day, a lot of when it comes to society itself, they don't even want the man in the family. I would call our African American people, they're so quick to, oh, you want assistance, you need welfare. All right, the man has to be out of the picture. You have to put them on child support, or
Hmm.
whatever type of way they can get the man out, divine and conquer. That's what they would do.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
yeah. They
always
doing that with the public housing and stuff. Like you can live here
exactly
for rent free, but if it's a man here, you can't
why
stay.
like
That's crazy.
why is it like this? Like the men don't have a voice when it comes to anything anymore, and it's really sad. And I had to catch myself because I kind of would do that to him, my hubby, when it comes to our kids, because I'm the mom and I'm the nurturer. I'm like, yeah, I know best. But this time around, when it came to
Hmm.
my second child, I was like, no, I'm gonna let him step up, and I'm gonna let him discipline how he want to discipline, and we're gonna sit down and have meetings on, oh, I don't like how you did this, and I don't like how you did that, and compromise on something that we could do
Yeah, but
together.
y'all able to talk about that, yeah, and that's very
Exactly.
important. Yeah.
Yeah, because I realized I was doing that to him, and I realized
Hmm.
he was looking like I was belittling him in a sense,
Hmm.
and I
Yeah.
felt bad. I'm like, no, I can't be doing that. He's a
Yeah.
black man. These are his kids as well, and I feel like now he
Hmm.
feels more comfortable, with
Right.
everything.
Yeah,
So
because a lot of partners do feel like inadequate, like they feel like they're, I guess, less than, like
yeah, because the
they can't
mom.
offer enough. Like the mom, you always hear, oh, mother knows best, and this and that, and
Yes.
the partners feel like, I mean, this is my child as well. Like,
Right, right.
we don't have on this thing right here. So, they always, that's how most feel. And I'm glad that I could be able, they could, I guess, not confide in me, but we able to talk, and they'll feel more open to talking to me, rather than having like feminine energy doula that's there,
Mhm.
they could relate. I could relate more to them, and I could be able to talk with them and understand them and hear them. Like let
Exactly.
them know that they have a place in here. They have a voice.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's very important.
Very important. Very important.
Yes.
All right. This is a little off topic, y'all, but I feel like it's a necessary topic to talk about. How do you feel about sex in today's time? Do you feel like it lost its like sacredness?
Yeah, I would think so, especially like in today's culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, how do you feel about that? Like, I would love to hear your opinion on that.
Um. So I could say as a female, like growing up, and how a lot of females just some females we can overly sexualize ourselves.
Hmm.
And when it comes to like the music, the industry, and how the women just
Hmm.
sexualize themselves is like today's
Yeah.
culture is disgusting. It's really disgusting. So you have like back in
Hmm.
the 90s where the women's wearing baggy clothes and they could just rap freely
Yeah, and
and
they could talk about life in general rather than talk about their body and have to overly
exactly.
sexualize that. It's like
Now it's
every
like
female track, they talking about their vagina. You
right.
know what I mean?
So
Like that's
and the men too, like a lot of
yeah, for
men.
real. Like I hate. That's why I don't listen to today's rap, man. Like it has to be intellectual. You got to make me think about
Exactly.
life in general, not about hoes and stuff like that. That's all they talking about. It's like how
Exactly.
you degrading these women, man. And then by you putting that out there, they're gonna get that. They're gonna draw that attention and be like, oh, well, that's how I get the attention. So let me do that. And
Let
then
me
they
let
all in
me
the videos and do all, yeah. And let me just over
mhm,
sexualize myself
mhm,
because that's today's culture.
mhm. So
Yeah,
yeah, like
I don't vibe well with that.
exactly. It's
Not at
like
all.
how do we get our kids and from this type of music? How do we teach our children it when it's right in their face? Growing up, it's like men would come, hey, what's up, ma, la 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 la. I don't like all that. So
Hmm.
nowadays, what me and my hubby do, we try to do a different type of sex, which is called like Tandra. I don't know if you heard of it.
I've heard of it. I don't really know too much about it, but
So
yeah,
it's
I've heard
more
of
of
it.
a right. So it's more like a sacredness. You're not really having
Hmm.
intercourse. You're just feeling. You're touching. You're mostly hugging, honestly, and
Hmm.
you
Yeah,
know
you're just exchanging that energy.
exactly because energy is
Yeah,
what it is. It's not all about
right.
sex, 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 sex. So I
Hmm.
just wanted to talk about that because I feel like today's time is just the sex is just wow. Everybody just having sex with everybody, or they don't. It's just wild and it's nasty.
Yeah, they don't understand that doing that could throw off your pH balance. It could do a lot of stuff
Exactly.
to your body. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. Like
But
who
yeah.
like you have
I don't
so
know. I
much
feel like it's just not you just exchanging body parts. I feel like you exchanging energy with every time,
mm,
whether you don't think about it or not, whether you just having a one night stand or what it is. I still feel like you exchanging some type of energy, a vibe, and you have to if it could like mess with your pH balance or your body. You know what I mean? Like that.
exactly.
Yeah, you got to be exchanging more than just body parts.
You
So that's how I feel
exchanging
about it.
everything. Like who's in your
Yeah.
like who you have different partners being in your bed. Like that those are souls that you left there. That's
Hmm.
energy that you left in that bed. So people don't
Yeah.
understand that. They just out there just doing whatever with
Yeah, for
anybody.
sure.
And I
Yeah.
feel like if we could come back to sacredness, sacred sex, sacred love, and taking our time to love
Mm.
one another the right way,
Right.
you'll have a better relationship with your partner
Yeah. Yeah, for
and just
real. Way
better
better
relationship
relationship and
period.
better connection for sure.
Yeah, because it can take time. Hey, love. Yes, we have a comment. It definitely takes time, but it's very important to do. You should do it you should try it with your husband. Like it would be magical. Maybe
Yeah. I definitely
my
gotta
husband
look
was
into that.
dead when we got married. No old bodies. It is time.
Hey,
It's
for
time.
sure.
Exactly. Exactly. You have to take time to invest in your partner.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's
Um,
very important. That's very important.
so to get off a little topic, what do you and your love do to take time to invest in yourself?
We set aside time because we're really busy. Like right
Mm-hmm.
now, the past couple months, I've been working about 75 hours a week. Yeah, and then on top of doing everything for my doula business,
Right.
and she's in school right now. She's doing
Okay.
school full time, and it's a lot because she's taking different classes that's very strenuous, and I commend her for doing that because she's staying on top of it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so we just have to not really plan time. We try to make time for each other. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Like if we could be doing this, but we know we could take care of that in the morning or something like that. We'll sit aside an extra hour or two just to share time to talk about our day. Just to be with each other and vibe with each other.
Love it. Love
So
it.
and then yeah, and then we haven't done it in a while, but last year for our anniversary, we took a trip. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't go too far, but we went to a resort, had a
That's
good little
important.
weekend there. Yeah,
Right.
it was beautiful. I enjoyed that.
Uh-huh.
So like we just try to make time and invest time into each other because that's what helps us grow together. Yeah,
Exactly.
but yeah, cause we're very busy on this side right here.
Um,
Oh
imagine when
man.
you have imagine when you have kids.
Right.
So,
And that's very
like,
important. When you have kids, yes, they're a priority, but you still have to take care of each
take
other.
time.
Yeah, y'all got
That's
to
what
take
we
time
going
so
through
y'all
right
can put
now.
time into y'all kids as well. Y'all have to,
Exactly.
yeah, build each other up so you can put it out to them. So,
So they
yeah,
can see that.
right.
Exactly. All right, all right. So since today is Valentine's Day, for all my loved ones out there, how did you meet your partner?
Yeah, we high school sweethearts. Yeah, we
Oh,
met. Yeah, we met the summer going to sophomore year, and yeah, like it was different. It was different talking to her. Um, yeah, it was just a different vibe I was picking up from what I was used to,
mm-hmm.
and I knew right there like this was gonna be something special. I didn't know from the first day that this was gonna be my wife, but I knew that it was something there that I haven't felt before. And I mean, of course, people are gonna be, oh, when you were 15, this and that. I mean, yeah, that's cool, but it wasn't like a type of puppy love to me. Like
Okay.
I understood the definition of it,
That's
and
young,
yeah,
15.
yeah, for sure. That's what I'm
Wow.
saying. Like we got married when I was 21. We were both
What?
21. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like I knew, like when you know. Like that's
Yeah.
just how I felt. Because I haven't had that type of connection with any other person. So I just knew right then, and it started there, sophomore year. And but
Look
one
at
thing
your
that's funny,
smile.
yeah, one thing that's funny, and I'm glad that she gave me the opportunity to realize this because I was very immature at the time. Of course, in high
Oh,
school.
young.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, immature for that time as well. Like it was just a difference. I don't know. I guess it was just me, me, me. I was just focused on me rather than us and rather than her. And especially because being a single, well, not single, but being the only child,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have to share any of my time. I didn't have to share anything. So it was all about me. And that's just what I knew. And that's how I felt. So I never experienced being in a relationship with another person and have to know that we have to meet in the middle. It's a two-way street. You
That's
know,
deep.
I'm not always receiving. I have to give. And I'm glad that we had to take a little break for a few months and I had to regather myself, regather my thoughts and
That's important.
refocus my energy on myself so I could be able to put it out towards her. And I'm just glad that she gave me another chance. And,
Oh,
we talked about it and everything and we've been rocking hard ever since.
I love that. Like, I
Yeah.
love Black love. I rock for Black love so hard because they want to divide us so much. You know,
Mm,
it's hard for a Black man, period, when it comes to America. It's hard for a Black woman, period. So to even hear that, that's truly powerful. And I really wish y'all the best on your journey from 15 to being married at 21. And you say you was 24, right?
Yeah, we're both 24.
Y'all both
Yeah, we're gonna
24.
be
Yes.
25. Yeah, we're gonna be 25 this year.
Yes.
But I want to love to hear about how you and your hubby came
You want to
to
know
be
about
about. Yeah,
that?
for
Go ahead.
sure. Yeah, I want to hear that story there.
Yeah, that's a story. Like we've been together only for 3 years, 4 years, going on 4 years.
Okay,
So
okay,
yeah, like we met like at an event place. So it's funny because I'm like this type of girl. I love to have fun. I love to go to events. I love to network. I love people. You know, I just love. And I'm
right.
like, all right, tonight I'm gonna take this leap of faith and I'm gonna go out by myself.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and I never did that. I never like just went out
Yeah,
by
some people don't
myself.
do that. Like they, yeah,
I mean, I
yeah,
was
you never
meeting
know.
friends. I was meeting
Mm-hmm.
friends at the place that I was going to, but I usually be with my girls and we pregame together and then we go out. But
Yeah,
this time
and then
I
y'all
was
go out
like,
together. Like you just went out.
right.
Yeah,
I'm like, nah, I'm gonna just go out by myself and just, be a free spirit and let the world take me where, whatever. And
right.
it's funny how it just all happened. I was calling my sister, I was calling my friends. I'm like, yo, come out with me tonight. They're like, I don't feel like it. But when I'm sick, I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm still gonna go. I
Yeah,
found $10 in my pocket that day. So it was like a lucky night. Like it was just
yeah.
weird. So I get to the place, I'm having fun, and
Mm-hmm.
then music, it was time to like party and have fun. So he came up to me and he was saying some jokes or whatever, and I'm like, oh, get out of my face, whatever. So he finally said one joke, and it was
Mm-hmm.
hilarious. He was just funny and charming, and we like danced and
Yeah.
we hit it off. And then after that, we changed phone numbers and we just
Mm-hmm.
hit it off. He kept hitting me up and we just kept exchanging knowledge. It was different than other guys that I
Mm-hmm.
like spoke to. It was more like
Right.
intellectual. It was like, oh, I'm reading this book and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. So I saw like he's more than, he wanted more than, just sex and whatever. He was into my mind, and
Right.
that's really important to me. So after that, we just kept going out. It took us like 5 months. I got to really know him for 5 months, and
Yeah.
we just kept going out, kept learning each other. We went on like boat ride trips and dates, like big dates and stuff. So I'm like,
Oh,
wow,
that's dope.
he's really interested in me. Okay,
That's what's
and
up. Yeah, like when you invest time with someone, that's how you know it's real right there. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because you could buy somebody something, you could flash money, you could do whatever, but when you put that time, because time is something you can't get back. You can make more money,
exactly.
but you cannot get more time, and that's one
No,
thing people don't realize. So when you invest time in someone and someone invests time in you, you know that shit's real. For real. That's dope.
yeah. I was
That's
so
dope.
surprised. I'm like, all right, he was different, and
Hmm.
I was like, and then we had a baby unexpectedly. We moved in together, so like we experienced living together for like two
Hmm.
years. We experienced all of that. We experienced the do's and don'ts we don't like about each other, what we do like about each other. And we're still learning. We're still a work in progress. Like we're
Right.
still
Hmm.
learning
Yeah.
each other. We're
Believe it or
still,
not, we're still learning each other. Like,
I can imagine.
yeah, we've been
Exactly.
living together for 4 years now, going on 5. So,
Wow.
yeah, and we're still learning each other. And we knew each other for 10 years. So, I mean, it's
Wow.
still yeah. You constantly grow. Like you have
Exactly.
to
Like
grow. I
every
don't feel like
freaking
it's supposed
day.
to plateau. I don't think it ever supposed to plateau because my love continues to grow stronger for this woman, and I
Mm.
feel like it like it. Thinking about love, I was like, oh, you can love someone as strong as you can, and that's the top. But then something else gonna happen, and you have experiences, and y'all just change, y'all exchange, chemistry, and it just goes up even higher. You felt like
Exactly.
that love just steady grows and grows, and it's just like I've actually realized now that it probably doesn't reach a ceiling. Like you steady, like the love's just gonna continue to grow. And I feel if
It
it does
continues to grow.
plateau, you're not working towards something. I feel like marriage is something that you still work, you strive for every day, and you have to invest that energy and time into. You just have to as to have a sustainable and healthy marriage and, good partnership, you have to do that. You
That's
have
a
to.
fact. I want to ask you a question that doesn't really have anything to do with what I have here, but because you're saying so much gems, it's like because you're married. What can you say? What do you
Hmm.
guys do to stay together? I know you guys have fights and everything, but like, what is
Oh
something
yeah.
that glue keep y'all together for that long? You was 15, married at 21.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to keep saying the numbers, but that's
Yeah.
young, like
Yeah, for
what is
sure.
that? That's give us some gems. Help us out. 'Cause
I mean, I don't think it's overcomplicated, really. I mean, it's just
let me tell you,
I
people out
can't see.
here,
Yeah,
it be hard. Like
yeah.
sometimes
Like,
I
don't
be
get me wrong, it's
concerned.
hard, but I mean, I never had a thought in my mind come across of leaving her. Like, no matter how much we could fight, we could disagree on stuff. You know, I never go to sleep mad. I never
Mm,
go to sleep within an argument or nothing like that. I don't like that. I can't do that. I
fix
can't
it.
sleep peacefully that way. I don't feel like I should go to bed angry, and I've never done that. So it's like I don't know. It's not overcomplicated really. I mean, it's just when you have that in your heart that this is the person you're supposed to be with, nothing could shake that or waver that. I mean, of course, you're gonna have bad days. Is some shit gonna hit the fan? I understand that, but like I've never had that thought of leaving her. So,
That's
I mean,
deep.
that's what I'm saying. Like again, I'm not going. It's not overcomplicated. I mean, it can be hard. It can be very difficult. I'm not saying that relationships can be complicated because it can, but it's just the energy that I have from her. I don't think I could get that from anyone else. And I
Mm,
know, and I know it's millions and millions of different people out there, but no one could like I can't have another connection this strong. And I already told her, I say she could die today or tomorrow. I don't see myself remarrying anyone. I might talk
what you
to
say?
different people. I said I might be having hoes, but I'm not going I can't commit myself to another person. I just can't see myself doing that
Right.
because it's just something I found in her I know I can't find nowhere else. And I'm
Mm,
not even gonna try to
that's your
because it's not
soulmate.
gonna happen. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
your twin
And I
flame.
thought that stuff wasn't real, but I mean, I feel like it is. I
Aw.
feel like that is. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have to say like I just isn't. It ain't really hard for me anymore. Like the relate, like the days could get challenging, but it's not hard for me to like say I'm gonna stay here and be with her because I can't see myself nowhere else. And I
Aw.
really can't see myself
I got
anywhere else.
chills. That's deep. That's deep. That's deep. Cause I done had my days where I'm just like, I'm out. I'll be back. I mean, we
Yeah.
got kids and stuff, but yeah, I had my days where
Hmm.
I done left and came back. And I also feel like when it comes to relationships, I feel like it has a lot to do with trauma,
Hmm.
how your parents was in the household.
Right.
I feel like a lot of that plays a part in your relationship. But
Yeah, for sure.
right, it can, but it's for you to heal that within yourself, and it's for you
Hmm.
to forgive, people in your life that you saw go through those things. So that's what
Right.
I was
And it's
trying
hard too because you have to know not to take it out on your partner
to
because they're
exactly,
not the one that created that trauma for you, so
exactly,
you can't really, you can't expect them to fully understand without you explaining it to them because
exactly,
they didn't live in your life. They didn't walk in your shoes. They didn't have those experiences prior to y'all being together. So they
exactly.
have no clue what you went through unless you talk to them about it and tell them. And
Communication.
communication is key. Like, and that's one thing that helps us stay together. We have to communicate.
Mm,
Like, I know it'd be hard. You want to just shut the other person out, but you have to talk. You have to talk this shit out. And like, it'd be hard sometimes, but I'm like, no, like, we have to talk about this. We have to get this out. We have to understand what's going on with each other so that we could heal and grow from this. And a
mm-hmm.
lot of people don't take that time out to talk and communicate. So that wound is going to stay open. You have to close that wound.
Woo, because it's a disease.
Yeah, for sure.
That
You leave it open too long, it's gonna start growing and growing, and it's gonna start. just like a regular wound, you got cut open. If you don't tend to it, it's gonna start getting infected and it's gonna start getting
Mhm.
worse and start spreading to more parts of the body. So yeah, if you
It
don't
is.
fix that little part in your relationship, it's gonna spread to other things in your relationship. And when you start adding kids as well on top of that, that's another thing that you have to deal with. And it becomes so much because you didn't take care of that little woman from the beginning.
You better preach. That's a fact. Yeah. I feel like we kind of went through that within our relationship. Um, yeah, we did, and we're still healing from that, and we're
Yeah,
at a
for sure.
place.
Yeah, healing, it takes time. Like everything
Ooh,
doesn't happen overnight. But
exactly.
as long as you're striding towards that and working toward it and, actually trying to heal and grow from it. Because, yeah, the stuff, everything takes different times and lengths. So you can't say it's going to happen overnight or in a week. But as long as you're pushing toward that end, excuse me, pushing toward that end goal, then, you should be fine.
Exactly.
And if you actually, care and actually put your time and energy into it, then it should work out.
That's
But
true.
both of y'all have to meet each other in the middle because
Exactly.
one cannot be given too much and the other given too little. Like
Mm,
it has to be a 50-50. You can't do 70-30. You can't do that.
that's
You
a
can't do
fact.
80-20. You have to do 50-50. Meet
That's
each
a
other right
fact.
in the middle with it.
Hey, nice. Pulling some gems. I like
Yeah.
that. You have any questions for me?
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask earlier. So, what got you into being a doula and getting into birth work?
Okay. So I had a hospital birth with my daughter, and the
Mm-hmm.
experience, I didn't like the experience at all. It was like I didn't feel comfortable. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they was
Did
rushing
you have a
me.
good provider? Or you just had one that just you didn't
So
like seek out a provider? And that's one thing that I try to tell my clients, like, you don't have to stick with the provider you're with. Like, you
right
have the option to leave and find another one if you choose, because you have to feel comfortable with that
with the,
person. So,
yeah.
yeah, and some people feel like they don't have an option. They just have to go with whoever they got assigned to or this and that.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
so going back to that, I didn't when I had my daughter, I was unaware of all of this. I didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know much, but I was always I could say I was always an advocate for myself. Like with anything, I'm
Mm-hmm.
always on it. Like, no, you're not doing this to me or whatever. So I already had that in my mindset. But at the time when I had my daughter, that was like 2 years ago. We was in the hospital and it was just horrible. The doctor was somewhere else. So a nurse actually delivered our baby, and everybody said that
Mm-hmm.
was better than the doctor. But I don't know, it's whatever. Um
Mm-hmm.
it was just like I didn't like the experience. She was crying a lot. I wanted to check on her and I couldn't. And then I was telling my hubby,
Mm-hmm.
like, go check on her. He was scared. He was like, she's fine. He didn't really know what to do. So it was just like a
Right.
really bad experience. So then the next, I said, if I ever have a child again, I'm gonna have a home birth. And
Mm-hmm.
I had my son, and he's 8 months now, and I had the home birth I wanted. So after I had the home birth, I remember my hubby was like, if this is not a sign, then I don't know what is. You should really look into birth work because this was
Mm-hmm.
amazing. You love kids. I'm a teacher, so I'm always around kids.
Oh,
I've
that's
always
dope.
been
Okay.
Yeah, I've always been around children. Like my mom, she had like a daycare in her home. So I've
Yeah.
always been around children. I've always been helping children. I love them. So I was like, I'll think about it, and yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how it came about,
That's amazing.
having a home
That's a
birth and
beautiful
everything.
story. That's
Thank
a
you.
beautiful story. Did you see a difference with your hubby with having that hospital experience and then a home experience? Was it different?
Tremendously,
Yeah.
yes. It was like he was so confident.
Hmm. Did he have
He
the information by then?
Yes. So we
Yeah.
did a
See,
lot of
yeah.
research. We
Having that
did
knowledge, it empowers you. You'll feel a lot
exactly,
more confident going into it.
exactly,
Yeah, that's what I was wanting to know because that's one thing that I provide for the partners of my clients, like
right.
to let them know and have that knowledge and information so that they could be more confident and be able to support their partner better and let them know
Exactly.
that everything's cool. Like, giving them that sense of comfort, because if the partner see you over there freaking out and nervous, they
Mhm.
gonna have no choice but to think something's gonna go
Mhm.
wrong as well. Like, but if
Exactly.
you're right there confident in their abilities to be able to birth your child, then you'll be able to stand by their side and give them that support. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's beautiful right there. That's one thing that I
You
wish
will.
I just hope I could provide for my clients and their partners,
You
because yeah,
will.
that
You
partner
already have the
involvement is
knowledge and
that
everything.
that
I mean,
partner involvement is beautiful.
right, when we was talking earlier, I did tell you that if he had a male doula, like someone like yourself, some support system,
Hmm.
he would have been felt more confident. He would have been, on had his research and knowledge behind having a natural birth. But
Right.
it was powerful, and I know when y'all have y'all children, you will be ready. She will be powerful because you will be right there with her. You'll be her advocate.
Yeah.
You'll be her
Yeah, for
support system.
sure.
You'll have the tools, right there in front of her, and
Hmm.
that's all you need.
Right.
We didn't have no medication. I didn't have nothing, but the
Hmm.
pool. I mean, it was supposed to be in a pool, but I wound up in the tub because it was like,
Okay. Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
is so magical. It's
Right.
just I can't explain it. Like it's just out of this world. It's just so powerful and magical. And for him to even see me do that, I know he looks at me like, wow, look at that.
Hmm. Right.
You would have you have respect for your wife, but you have the utmost respect for her. Like, yo, you're a warrior. You're powerful.
For sure.
You're
That that's why birthers hold a special place in my heart, man. Like the stuff that they go through, the body changes, the hormones, the fluctuations of everything, just it's just so empowering to know
mm-hmm,
that like we all enter the world this way.
to a woman.
And that's why I felt like I was obligated to help, because I personally can't birth a child, but I
Hey,
felt like the next best thing to do is help those who can. So
ooh, you
yes,
gotta preach. That's
for
dope.
sure.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Um, we was talking about earlier when me and you was just talking. We was talking about how a lot of men can be like really queasy when it comes to a woman's menstrual. Just the woman, the whole anatomy
Hmm.
behind our whole body and everything. It's like they're so um uneducated about it to the point where they're just
Hmm.
like, ew, like
Yeah, because they
it,
don't even talk about it in school. Like they don't even really have sex education, especially not where I'm from.
they don't have it.
They don't offer that. They don't talk about that, and I think that's very important, because a lot of unplanned pregnancies could have occurred if they had the proper information. Because in my city where I'm from, each year of high school, I had at least a few girls there that was pregnant.
Wow.
And yeah, like, cause I
Yeah,
mean,
same here. Same
kids
here.
have sex, like kids start early, they
Yeah.
12, 13, 14, 15, and they don't have the proper information, to understand everything about it. They just trying to go from what they, know and everything, which is
And
not
what they're
anything.
seeing on
And what
television.
they're right, and they thinking that that's how it's supposed to be and all that, but no. So they didn't even talk about that. So they for sure didn't talk anything about menstruation or period cycles, anything. They didn't touch on that. So it's just so taboo, and I think that is wrong, because it's a natural occurrence that happens every month for over
Exactly.
half the population of the world. Like, I don't
Right.
understand it.
Right. And on top of that, when it comes to parents, it's like they be so afraid to sit down with their kids and to let them know about sex education.
Yeah, because
Like,
I talked about that on my live when we was talking about menstruation.
yeah, I
It was
I
a
heard
it
y'all
was a
talk about
girl.
it.
Yeah, it was a girl in
Yeah.
my class that she started early. She was 9. People think, oh, I have time, because they don't. They say normally it happens 12 or 13, but it could
Mhm.
happen as early as 8 or 9.
Yeah, you can have
And
your period early.
yeah, and they didn't know, and we had uniforms, so we were wearing khaki pants and
Hmm.
shirts and stuff. So she didn't know, and she had her first period at school, had a stain, and kids was laughing at her, and
How
she felt like something was wrong with her because up until then, all you know when you hear about blood, you think something bad happened. You got
right,
cut, you
right.
know something's in pain, stuff like that. But they don't. This is not normal because a cut, you're not just supposed to be cutting yourself. You're not supposed to be bleeding out of your nose, mouth, stuff like that. It's not like normal. So,
Mhm.
but this is a normal occurrence, but they were unaware about it. So they're
Exactly.
thinking something's wrong. Like they're in trouble. They about to like something's wrong with me. I'm about to die maybe, or they don't know what's going on. Especially be a 9-year old child. You don't know what goes through their mind. So
Mm-hmm.
for them not to be educated on it, and especially about their own body, like
Mm-hmm.
like that makes no sense to me.
Mm.
And that could have totally been prevented right there, because at least you would have knew, because you don't know when your first one's going to come, but at least you would have knew and been prepared that this is a normal bodily function for me because I have a uterus and this is going to happen.
Right,
Yeah,
right. If
like
she
then
has
this is,
education,
yes,
that's a fact. I didn't have
it
it
could have
either.
went totally different.
I
And
didn't have it.
I know a lot of people, a lot of girls experience this growing up. Like that first time, like something could have happened. Like it's cool. The best time was you was at home on a Sunday or something and it happened. You like, Mom, what's going on?
Yeah,
But to be at school, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of the day, not knowing what's going on.
that's sad. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's very important to educate, because education starts in the house. That's
mm-hmm.
how I feel about it. Education starts in the
Exactly.
house. You can't expect these schools, especially public schools, to teach you anything about life.
They don't even
They
teach us
only
about our history, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
they only teach you about their history, and that's all they care about.
exactly.
That's it. They're not
Even
gonna
with
educate you on everything.
exactly. Even with the whole pills, like I remember growing up and I was in middle school, like in high school, I would
Hmm.
hear some girls would just be telling me stuff like, "Oh, I just had sex, I'm protected sex, so I'm about to go to the nurse and pop a pill." And I'm like, antibiotic.
Hmm.
So I remember a lot of girls would just be like, "Oh, I just had sex and I'm just pop a pill. I'm gonna go to the nurse and get a pill." Like it was so normal growing up, having unprotected
What?
sex, just taking going to the nursing school, just taking antibiotic. It's just crazy, and they were just willingly giving it out to them like it's nothing. Like it's
Wow.
nothing.
Giving it to them like it's candy.
Exactly. And you know how that affects your body, your womb. That's why a lot of women can't really have kids or something, because they've been doped up with those pills since they was in middle school, since they was in high school. You don't even know what you're
Hmm.
doing to your bodies when you keep taking all those type of pills. It's like,
Yeah, that's true.
so we
That's
need
very true.
more
Need more
education
education. Yes,
in our
it has to be
household.
more normalized, because sex is one of the most normal acts here. Like this is
Exactly.
how we get here. This is how we get here. Like how is it not normalized? Like I don't understand it.
They they want to hide it, or I don't know. It's
Hmm.
weird. It's weird.
And
But
then the more you hide it, the more kids are gonna be curious about it. Like the more you tell
exactly.
someone don't do it, they're gonna want to
They're
do
gonna
it.
do it.
That
They're
makes
gonna
no
do it
sense. Yeah.
in the wrong way. In the wrong way. You know,
Right, because they're uneducated and miseducated. So yeah.
because they're watching the TV, watching these videos, and it's just
Yeah,
nasty.
they think porn is real. They less acting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And don't even know that is a demonized. It's double that porn and all that. It's like really demonized to your mind. It's not healthy. So like when it comes, let's talk about porn. When it comes to porn, I had to stop watching it. We're all human here. I've watched porn. You've watched porn. Everybody watched porn, right? I had
hmm
to stop watching it. I had to stop completely. I haven't watched it in years,
hmm
because it would do something to your mind that is not good. It's just not good. And that goes back to sacredness, having sacred sex,
hmm
having it's just all this stuff that's out there. It's just really messing with our minds, and we don't even know it.
Right.
Like most people watch porn because they want to look like that person, or it's a fantasy.
Right.
It's just a
hmm
fantasy,
Yeah, it's
and
not reality.
it's
And they
not
take it
reality.
as reality, especially kids. They'll see that and think that that's sex. and that's how it's
Right.
supposed to be. And that's not how it's supposed to be, man.
And it's
Not at
not.
all.
Or they have
No.
like little kids on there doing. It's just nasty. And I advise people, like, if y'all doing, stop watching it. Watch something that's more like, sacred or whatever. Or do what you want, but it will really mess up your mind. So be aware of that.
Hmm.
Be aware of that. So, are there some basic tips and advice you can give to like laboring women and families?
Yeah, my advice to anyone that's trying to get pregnant or already, I would definitely say seek out a doula. For sure,
Okay.
look into what a doula is, look into what a midwife is, OB, just check out everything and like look into your options because
Right.
if you don't want to go the doula route, at least educate yourself
Mhm.
because I firmly believe that knowledge is power, and I
Mhm.
stand by that wholeheartedly. And so, if you feel like you could get the education for yourself, just make sure you seek it out and get all your resources and your options laid out so you could evaluate your situation because every pregnancy and birth is different.
Exactly.
So you just have to find what works best for you and your partner and your family and everything. So yeah, just take that into account. But that's basically what I would have to say. Just
Right.
educate yourself and understand your options. And
Right.
yeah, that's true. There's so many options,
Yeah.
but you just don't know about it
My
because
best friend.
especially in the black community, especially in minority communities, marginalized communities, they don't understand that they have options. They just feel like they have to go to the OB and that's about it. They don't know about midwifery. They don't know what doulas offer and provide. They don't know what that is. So especially in our community, and it has to, be more talked about, and people have to get their resources.
Right.
And
It's
that's
because
one
of the
thing that we
medical
provide.
in the medical world, the doctors and stuff, they don't want people to know about doulas. They don't want people to know about midwives. So
Hmm.
there are so many of them. This is why I do these question and answers so people can get more knowledge behind it, more birth education behind it, because there are millions of them. They're everywhere. You are in Houston, Texas, right? Like,
Right.
I'm in New York. We're everywhere. I just did an interview with someone in ATL. We're everywhere. There's
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
resources out there that
Facts. I talked to someone that was in Canada. Like, yeah, it's
exactly,
it's everywhere.
like the maternal
Everywhere takes
mortality
everyone
rate.
has birth. Right.
Exactly. Everywhere somebody's having birth. So everywhere there's a doula. Everywhere there's a midwife. The maternal mortality rate is super high in a lot of places for African American people because they are unaware of their birth rights and doulas and midwives and support system that's out there. You can get free
Hmm.
doulas. You can have a free midwife. You can
Yeah.
cover it with your insurance. There's so much resources
Yeah.
out
They
there.
feel like they feel like all the information they need to know is in the pamphlet at the OB office. Like you just read it in the pamphlet. It's
Exactly.
so much more to
And it,
pregnancy and birth than a little pamphlet you read about.
and it's a fear we have to be open. Yes, that's what we're
Yeah,
saying. It's always a
yeah, because
fear.
they
Yes.
taught they're taught, about just this is how it's supposed to be and this is it. They don't seek out anything else because they feel like this is how it's supposed to be and this is what they're taught and that's all they know. They
And
don't
it's
want to try to educate themselves.
the
Yeah, it's
white
whitewashed
man,
and everything. Yeah.
the white man tell you, you got diabetes, you got this, you got that. They're gonna believe it, and they're gonna take that medication, and they're gonna mess up their DNA because that's what it's doing. That medication is really messing up your whole DNA system. So then that's when you're gonna have complications within your birth because you're taking
Hmm.
stuff that you know yourself for years. Why would you listen to not saying that we're anti doctors, anti all that. I'm not saying that. But
Hmm.
just be mindful.
But
Why
just
would
know your
you
options though. Like
right?
get a second, third, fourth opinion. Like look
Exactly.
out other options that's out there rather than just taking this particular prescription drug. Because you might find
Exactly.
some herbs out there that could do the same thing for you. So yeah.
The natural way. The natural way.
Hmm.
You
Yeah. The more we get back to being natural with ourselves, the more natural we would be. Our energies and essence would,
yes,
transform into that. Yeah.
yes, yes.
That's what I
Absolutely.
believe in. So yeah, for
Ashe.
sure.
Ashe. Somebody's asking you a question, Teddy.
Teddy, do you think? Hold on, let me pull it back up. Yeah, Teddy, do you think male doulas could be the supporters to fathers to be? Men do not. Men do not that preparation for birth. Yeah, men don't. Yeah, they don't prepare for birth. They don't. Yeah, they don't listen to the classes. Yeah, and that's what we touched on earlier. I just feel like
Just
that's
spoke
very
about that.
important. Yeah, I think it's very important. That's something that I could provide. For fathers to be the partners because they feel like they're inadequate. So, and especially because they don't see more people that look like them that's in this, they feel like they don't have a part in it. Because when you do the
Mm-hmm.
childbirth education class or something like that, it's always a woman up there talking, and they don't see anyone that looks like them that, has the information that could talk to them about it. And they, I guess they feel like they don't have a place in it, so they wouldn't actually go up to that educator and ask questions or stuff like that, or just trying to get more information about it. They just feel like, well, I mean, as long as my partner knows what they're doing and this and that, that's all. Like, they don't feel like they should have a place in that, and they do. They really do have a place, and they need to know that and step up into that and embrace that because it's a beautiful thing, and your partner would definitely appreciate it for you to be right there and as knowledge and as educators as they are, to help this labor and birth process as well as the pregnancy and postpartum, like all of it.
Exactly. Oh, my hubby just pulled up. Hey, hubby. Um, yeah, that's a fact. We was just talking about that earlier. Thank you, Pregnancy Without Fear, for asking that question because we was just talking about that, and
Hmm.
I was just telling him how I kind of like dim the light on my hubby when it came to my childbirth because I felt like I knew everything. I'm the mother. I had these kids. I'm so defensive over my children and myself. So
Hmm.
I had to step back completely and was like, nah, you these are your kids, you have a
Right.
say in everything.
Hmm.
Everything. And a lot of women do that to our men. Like they have no voice, in their household. I see it all the
Hmm.
time. They have no voice, and it's sad
And if
that
they don't have no voice there, they for sure think they're not gonna have a voice in the labor
outside
room or yeah, within
in
pregnancy.
the
They feel
world,
like yeah,
in the world, period. So
yeah.
it's like we need to be as women. I'm not saying anything down in our women, but I'm talking for myself because I've done that to mine.
Hmm.
So we need to be more uplifting about men. We need to be more, giving them more, catering to them more. So this is what I do now more. I cater
I
to my
say,
man more. I lift
I
him
say.
up. I give him positive affirmations. I let him know what he's doing. I love him.
Mm.
Whether it's just a text in the morning,
Yeah,
like
that goes a long way. A lot of people don't think
exactly,
that will go a long way.
exactly,
Like
exactly.
letting us know that we are valued, man, that will
Not
go a
in his
long way.
house. It's annoying.
Yeah, cause yeah, cause a lot of men feel like they're like not appreciated, they're not valued, their opinions aren't taken seriously. So yeah, to just get those little small affirmations goes a long way.
Exactly.
Just let us know that we're valued. We're so appreciative
Aw.
to that. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, I feel like that's so important. Like, please,
Yes.
like today's Valentine's Day, I know, but like, do it every day. Make sure
Yeah, don't let it just be a holiday that tells you when to be nice or do something.
that's your
Like, yeah.
hero. Like, love your man every day because when they step out into that world, they're not getting the same love. They not.
Oh, not
Trust
at
me.
all.
Trust
Not at
me.
all.
They're not getting that same love. So it starts within
Mm-hmm.
the household. Everything starts within the household. They're not getting that same love. Um.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for asking that question.
Yeah, for sure.
Any right. This is a sacred day. Y'all probably out with y'all loved ones, but you guys took the time to tune in, and this means a lot.
Hmm.
I was so excited for this interview, so I was
Yeah,
like,
I was so
yes,
glad that you
Valentine's
asked me to come on. Thank you for having me. Yeah,
Day.
I was really looking forward
Of
to it.
course. Yes, and we both Gemini, so
Yeah. Oh yeah. You
extra.
know it.
Oh man, extra. Keep it coming, keep it. Father to be is the first supporter. So at appointments, fatherhood to be should be
Spoken to.
spoken to as he
Yeah.
experiences what she is going through on her.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I said earlier. Like, yeah, you have a doula, and that's beautiful. We give you the education, we'll give you physical, emotional, all kind of support that you need. But at the end of the day, your partner is your number one support person because they're gonna be there 24/7. The doula isn't there 24/7. We might be at, the touch of a phone. You could dial at the fingertips. You can get information, but at the end of the day, we're not gonna be there at 2 in the morning when something is going on, or and with that partner not knowing about the birther's body, they don't understand what's going on, and they're not going to be able to support them properly.
Right.
And that's what they need to realize is that, yeah, the partner is that number one support person, and they
Exactly.
have to step into that role. And that's one thing that I provide, and I'm glad that I can.
Hmm.
And I do that partner involvement. I really like to care for the partners as well. I'm both of y'all doula. You know what I
That's,
mean?
I'm
Like
sorry to cut you.
if it's something that you can't talk to someone about, you can reach out to me and we could talk about it. Like
Right.
I'm not just the birther's doula, like I'm the partners as well. And both of y'all opinions are equally as valid.
I shade to that. That's important that you said that because the two births that I've done, it was like I can sense the male kind of on the sideline, and
Hmm.
I'm like, no, 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 come on, you in this too.
Hmm.
You
Right.
gotta, be present. So,
Yeah,
what
they
I
feel like the doula will replace them. Like, no, in my
yeah,
services, I'm here to pull y'all closer together, let
exactly,
y'all meet in the middle and understand each other. Like, that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to overstep. I'm not here to take your place. I'm here for you to step into your place. That's what I'm here for.
exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. All right. That's a good. That's my hobby. To think of transgender pregnancy is becoming a
Mm-hmm.
trend in lifestyle? That's a great question. I'm glad that you asked this because what's funny is we were just talking about this the other day. Me and my
Mm-hmm.
husband. Be so being in this doula work, I'm meeting so many people and I'm networking with so many people and I came across the word queer, I believe
Mm-hmm.
that's what it's called. And me and you was talking about that earlier too.
Mm-hmm.
That your doula services they talk about that, and that's so important. So, opinion on that?
Oh yeah, like I mean, yeah, it's becoming. It's like they're realizing that it's okay to be themselves now,
Right, right.
because society over time has had this one track mind, whether they use religion to control it or whether they just
Mm-hmm.
use white supremacy to control it.
Mm-hmm.
They felt like they couldn't be themselves, and a lot of them are born female, but they feel like they are a man and they transition, but they still would like to have children, and
Right.
they still have the body to do so,
Oh,
but
no.
they
Right.
identify as a man. So
Right.
yeah, like that's that's perfectly normal, and that's what we covered in my doula training. And it
I
was
love that
surprising to me
type of
as
stuff.
first because I especially coming from Texas, we're so conservative down here. It's just we're the South and everything like that. So it's hard to open up for change, and people don't really see it as normal. But I'm glad that I found this doula training because I came across a lot of people that are queer and trans, and their voice is equally as valid as well. And they're
Right,
a
right.
person. At the end of the day, they're a person. No matter if you agree with their beliefs or not,
That's
they
true.
still deserve, proper care. They still
Respect.
deserve someone in their corner to advocate for them. And that's one thing that, through my doula training that they provide.
I'm so happy that your doula training provided that services because, like, me looking in, that I didn't have no type of awareness about,
Yeah.
knowledge,
Yeah. I didn't really understand it
like,
until
yeah,
I took my doula training.
and
And
having
which
all
is
the
fine because a
courses.
lot of people not exposed to it. And that's one thing that I
Right,
liked about my doula training, that they didn't look down upon you because you didn't know how to use proper pronouns, or you didn't know that, the stuff about it. And they really embrace people, and they didn't, like, look down on you and like made you feel bad about yourself. You know,
Right.
they actually taught you and everything. So I'm really glad about that. Yeah,
Right.
because yeah, I think 25% of trans people don't go to the doctor to get regular checkups and check up on their body because they're of fear of being misgendered and not being given proper care.
Mm,
Because if they identify as a man and they transition, you know, on their paperwork it still might say female, and you
right. Right.
know, they don't claim to be a woman, they're a man, and they want to be addressed as so, and they feel like they wouldn't get the proper care going to a primary care provider for that. So 25% of them don't even go get checked up on their body, and something could be going wrong with them, and they would never know because they're just in fear of, you know, not being accepted of who they are and everything, you know. So
And that's
but
why it's
yeah,
good
yeah.
to have doulas and midwives, because
Hmm.
more doulas and midwives will be more aware of that, and they could help them
Yeah, a lot
instead of
more aware.
going to the hospital. So I'm new to all of that. So it's
Hmm.
like me, I don't have any religion. My religion is love. My religion is humanity. I'm all for
Right.
that. And I love to understand and just do my research on different type of topics, because
Hmm.
the world is changing. When our kids get older, when you have kids, Lord knows
Hmm.
what's gonna happen. Lord knows what's gonna be in front of our faces. So it's just extremely
Right.
important to just be aware. You don't have to like everything like you said, but respect people.
Right.
Respect people. That's the
Hmm.
main thing we need to do. I may not know what the
Right.
hell is going on with that, but I'm gonna respect them. I'm gonna respect them
Hmm.
wholeheartedly.
Yeah, for sure.
So
And that's all they
it's
ask for, you know. They don't ask for you to be their best friend, but just
exactly,
understand them and their choice. That's their
exactly,
choice, and they have every right to do so.
because
You
that
know. Yeah.
community is strong. Their
Right.
community is powerful. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's all about respect, and that's what's
Yeah, for
happening.
sure.
That's what's
Hmm.
happening. Well, this was so amazing. We done talked
Yes.
about so much.
Yeah, we
Um,
covered a lot.
a lot, right?
Yeah.
I would love to work with you in the future in person as well.
Yeah,
Definitely.
for
Yes.
sure.
We would do this again for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and hit him
I'm
up.
always
Tell
down.
everybody where you're at. Your social media. Tell everybody where your
Yeah.
social
Yeah,
media.
well, I'm located in Houston, Texas. This is where I'm born and raised. I'm Teddy the Doula on Instagram. So at Teddy the Doula.
Write it
Yeah,
down in the
get at me.
comments. Write it down in the comments for the
Oh
people
yeah.
that
Yeah.
probably need to visualize it. And I just want to thank you all for tuning in. Hit him up. Hit him up for anything.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah,
It's
even if you need like me to talk with your partner, like even if you know you don't need that support, if your partner needs the support, I'm
right.
down for that. Yeah,
Right. We'll
because
be there.
I'm always there to help people, and I just want the partner involvement to become normalized and more frequent, and just to be just everything. I just want the partners to be involved more, so it could
Exactly.
just be a healthy, sustainable relationship.
Love it. Love it. And more peace and blessings and joy and abundance to you and your wife. All
Thank
right.
you, thank you.
Thank you.
Same to y'all, same to y'all. Blessings
Thank
to y'all.
you.
Yes, indeed.
Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, we're gonna talk more. We'll get together at a later date.
Yes, indeed. All right. Thank you all. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And I'm so happy for y'all tuning in. Hope you guys got the questions, the answers that you all were looking for. All right. Peace and love to you
Mm-hmm.
all.
Thank y'all.
Thank
Bye.
you. All right.